Hi, so a while ago I got a couple of questions about what I use for foundation, what I use under my foundation, what kind of bronzer I use, all sorts of stuff. So I thought I would just do a video of my updated full face makeup routine. So today we're going to focus on foundation, concealer, contour, highlight, all that jazz, and you can see what I use on a regular basis. So first I start with my L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. It's like honestly something I just found at Walgreens, but it is so good. I love it. It works really well. There's a couple of different tones that you can get. I got the more pink undertone and I really liked it so far. I haven't tried the other color, but I would be interested to see the difference. But basically, you don't need this all over. You can put it all over. I start with the tops of my cheeks, on my nose, basically where your highlight would be, on my chin, and then in the center of my forehead. Ultimately, it ends up pretty much all over as a good primer, but I like to really concentrate it in those areas so that they get the most glow. And I just use like a regular little stipple brush for this. This also works as a great, like I said, a great primer, or even just like running out the door really quick, need to add some sort of glow to your skin. This works really well. I use either the Infallible Pro Glow or I use the Infallible Total Coverage, but today I'm gonna blend them together. So they're two different tones, and when we came back from our honeymoon, I had a little bit of a tan, so I end up blending them together so that I get the right color. This one's a little darker. This consistency is much thinner, but they blend okay. They're just really different consistencies. This one is much thicker and almost kind of like a mousse in a sense. So let's see. And I blend them on a brush, and then I put the foundation all over because I feel like I get a more even application with a brush. But then I go back in with a little beauty blender type sponge and even it out. So they're both really good coverage. The pink one, the Total Coverage, obviously is much better coverage. But like I said, they're different consistencies and different colors, and right now I've been using both of them just because of the color, but I really have been liking mixing them. I think it provides like a good lightweight feel, but also good full coverage. And I prefer full coverage makeup. Not everyone does. That's why I was saying like you could leave with just the shine on, like the Glotion from L'Oreal, or you could go all out and do full foundation. I like to kind of go back over these areas and just stipple it in a little more coverage, and then I'll take my beauty blender. It's not really a beauty blender, but one of those types of sponges, and I'll just go over it lightly so that it sets into the skin. And these are, you wet these down before you use them. You don't have to, but that's how you get the best use out of them. So after that, I'm gonna grab my powder and quickly go in on these little smile line areas. Mine set really quick, so I like to just set them with powder before they get too creasy looking. And I'm gonna use the blender to do it. And I'm just using the e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder. Going to take my Tarte Shape Tape concealer, one of the best concealers. I'm obsessed with it. Somebody recommended it to me years ago, and I've never used anything else ever since. But I just take it right under here, and you draw a little V shape under your eye. And you can use as much as or as little as you want. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot of makeup to make your face full coverage. It's just the right application. So I'm gonna take the more pointed end and just press it into the skin. Here's one tip I will tell you. If you are 45, 50 or older, this lighter colored concealer under your eye technique is not recommended. I've actually tried it on more mature skin a couple of times and usually the person does not like it. So pick a color concealer that matches your skin. I choose something more brightening because I like having the glow in the center of my face, but if you have more mature skin, I don't think you'll like it. So just try to find a color. Still use concealer. Concealer is not the problem, it's the color. So try and find a color that matches your skin tone so it doesn't add too much variance, but you can still add like the glow in the center of your face even if you don't have the lighter color concealer. So then next I'm going to take my my NYX Wonder Stick. So sorry, my stuff is like really gross, I use it so much. My NYX Wonder Stick, and this is the color Universal 04. So it comes with a highlighter end, which I don't use all the time, but sometimes I like for quick makeup. It comes with the contour end, which I love. So I just like it because I feel like I have more control since it comes in like a crayon form. And then the trick to this is find your cheekbone, find your bottom of your cheekbone, and then put your contour, draw it on just a tad bit higher than where the bottom of your cheekbone ends, and then blend it down, and it'll give you really high lifted cheekbones, which look like slimming, all that stuff. So then I just take this and I add it, pat it in. Now you can stop there. I personally think if you're gonna contour your cheeks, you might as well contour the rest so that it balances out. You don't wanna just have these really dark hollows and then everything else is kind of a bright white. So I like to bring it up on my forehead. And again, finding a good color is what's gonna make a difference. This one doesn't pull too orange on me. It's actually really nice with my skin tone and it takes a while. I used a different color of this Wonder Stick before I found this one, so it just takes time to get to know your skin and the colors that work best on it. And if you ever need help deciding, please reach out to me and I will do my best to help you figure that out. So then you're just taking it over the contours of your nose, adding a little bit right there, and then I have like, not so much a wider nose, but it fans out on the sides here, so it looks really crazy when I don't put the contours down the side. So I like to just add a little couple stripes going up the side so that it really provides this shadowing effect, and then just blend it out. And then you can also add some down around your jawline. I have a really nice color blend right now and I'm worried it's gonna mess it up. I hate when your neck does not match your face, so I'm not even gonna go there today. I think that is too risky. I'm just gonna leave it with my contour being up here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my e.l.f. powder again, and I'm just going to really coat it and set this line. This is what's gonna help you carve this out. And you see some people do the full baking technique. I don't think it's 100% necessary, and I think you end up wearing a lot of makeup, which is totally fine. But sometimes you just want the idea without all the without all the hassle, and without all the fuss. Okay, so now then I'm gonna take the point and grab some powder and just set underneath my eye, just so that it doesn't get creasy or anything and the makeup doesn't slide. So I'm just gonna take my fluffy brush here, the powder, and then just lightly dust it over my forehead so it's not as shiny compared to the rest of my face. But I don't take any like bronzing powder. When I do cream, I either do cream or I do powder. You can do both for sure, set it, but that's when you get a really dramatic contour, and I really just don't think that's necessary for me. I'm gonna take the blush, and I use, this is one of the ColourPop palettes. It's called Femme Rosa Her, and it had a powdered bronzer in it. That broke, so that no longer exists. Has a gold highlighter that sometimes I use for my eyelids. It doesn't really work super well with my skin, but the blush is fire. Like, I love the blush. So I just lightly tap it in there a couple times. I always tap it off to get it even. And then really, really lightly, because this is the hardest part about blush, is people either go way too quick, way too fast, and it gets everywhere. Or they just feel like they're never getting the right amount of color. So I like to go in very gently, like it will barely touch my skin, and you put it right on the apples, the puffy parts of your cheeks, and brush it back. And like I said, I don't like it to be super harsh. I really like it blended out, so I go in with that fluffy brush that I use for my powder. I don't add any more powder to it, but I just dust it over it so that it helps lighten it up. So I'm still getting that contour shape, but it's just not as dramatic on your face, which I like. So I use this little fan brush. I used to use it on my cheeks, but I found I like the fluffier brush on my cheeks better. Now I use this for really pointed places where I want to keep it very controlled. So I just brush this. By the way, this is Kylie Jenner's highlighter in French Vanilla, which is the perfect color for me because it has gold undertones. I have naturally pinkish skin, so the yellow tones balance it really nicely. So I just brush this along here, and then I just use it to come right down my nose. And it's like so gently. And then I go back and forth across my nose too, because it'll keep it on the bridge because I'm not pressing hard enough for it to go down the side. And then up in between my brow. So it's just a nice even flow. And you can put a lot of highlighter on. Some days I'm really feeling myself and I do put a lot of highlighter on. But other days I think it just looks crazy. So this is a good brush for keeping it really subtle. Another good place to put it is right above the point in your brow, because see how that just catches like natural light when I move? That's a really good spot to put it. So I'm actually gonna put it there too. Just gently, it does not need a lot or you will look so structured. Another good pointed place to put it is right on your Cupid's bow, which is this little part of your lip. I bring it up a little further just to extend it, because who are we kidding? I obviously overline my lips because I have teeny little baby lips. And so I just lightly dust it in there. And look how much definition it already just gave me by putting that there. Like, whole new face. And then I do put it under the peaks of my brows, but I do that when I do my eye makeup, and I use eye makeup brush for that. Then I take my fluffy brush. I just slightly slide it down both ways so it gets an even coating. Tap. And then I start under the corner of my eye lightly and pull it up above my blush. So it should go, your contour blends into your blush, blends into your highlight. And your highlight should sit on the tops of your cheekbones as if the light is coming from right here and shining down on you. Doesn't matter where the light really is, that is just what looks most flattering. So don't like, well, my lighting doesn't look like that, so I put it where the light is. No, make it so you have a light shining up here if you don't know where to put it, and find where. So hold your light up here, and if you don't know where to put it, you find the hollows of your cheeks and then the tops of your cheeks, and your blush goes in the middle. but make sure you layer it in the right way so that you have your contour, then your blush on top, and then your highlighter. And then I like to bring it down here too, just to open my whole face up. And then a little bit on my chin so that it's not left out. And if you haven't watched my eyebrow tutorial yet, go check it out. It kind of gives you more of a slowed down, detailed explanation of how I do my brows. Like I say in the video, I don't think I'm an expert at brows. I've just gotten good at doing mine over the years. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about the products I use, please let me know. Either send me a message on Instagram or leave me a comment on YouTube and I will get to you as soon as I can. If you have any questions about where I buy things, usually you can find it at Target or a drugstore.